Start in Wien auch übrigens soweit. Am Start sind Athleten aus 27 Nationen, 6 Norweger, 6 Italiener, 6 Schweden, 6 Deutsche und 6 Franzosen und 3 Einzelstarter haben wir, Freunde. Ein Latte, ein Brite und ein Däne sind hier am Start. Gleich geht los mit unseren Kampfrichtern am Skistand. Ja, Anna, begrüßen wir uns die Gäste hier. Geht es gut?
I'm fine. Well, we have today 104 athletes on the start from 27 nations.
Okay. 7. 0,65. Und 6. Oh. Ah, okay. Hallo. Ich bin heute am Schluss auf Feuer, völlig an. Hallo. Servus. Wie gut das ist.
After a thrilling week in Oberhof, the biathlon train travels 460 kilometres south for 5 days of action here in Ruhpolding, a course which boasts a rich history in the sport, hosting 4 World Championships and with a combined capacity in the stadium and out on the course of 30,000. We kick off this stop on the World Cup Tour with the men's 20 kilometres individual, the first full-length individual competition of the season, so strap yourselves in for an afternoon which will have its twists and its turns. 5 laps of 4 kilometres, 4 shooting stages and no penalty loops, but a 60-second penalty for each miss. Alongside myself, Ellen Ellard, to guide you through it all with an expert eye is former Team USA biathlete Chad Samler. And Chad, well, there is some stunning scenery out there. We just can't quite see it as the snow comes down.
Yeah, right at 0 Celsius too, so it's basically a snow, rain, or a mix of precipitation, but this is pretty classic Ruhpolding weather, especially when the clouds roll in. This venue is in a very narrow ravine between the villages of Ruhpolding and Reitenwinkel, both of them world-class sports facilities. Reitenwinkel, just about 8 kilometers down the other direction from Ruhpolding, is a great Nordic Combined place where they've had a lot of World Cups in Nordic Combined. But this venue is hallowed ground. It's one of the oldest venues on the World Cup circuit, and today it's the oldest event on the docket, the 20K individual.
So we can take a look at the start list, and in the early order it's Jake Brown, who is a DNS 4 today. Chad, I believe the word you might have been looking for in the mix of snow and rain is sleet, as we like to call it this side of the pond. And while the start list flicks through, we of course have a had a big announcement from the IBU today, a new season opener, and for the first time ever the biathlon season will open in an urban setting in the iconic Munich Olympic Park, of course not too far from this altitude destination of Ruhpolding, and the first Loop 1 festival, which will be taking place on the 18th, 19th of October next year, and the blend of high performance sport and festival atmosphere with the parabiathlon and youth competitions taking place on the Saturday, followed by the senior competition on the Sunday. And well, a brilliant opportunity to see elite biathlon opening up the season in a way that it's never been showcased before.
Yeah, this Ruhpolding venue is a great place for them to announce this Munich event, and October is obviously quite a bit earlier than most people are going to have snow, but there's a trend going on in both cross-country skiing and biathlon with these summer festivals. They're very popular. People are tuning in and they're selling tickets, and quite honestly, they're great events. I think this is a great opportunity for the IBU to get in on that excitement, and actually as the governing body of the sport to come out and do something special to kick off the season. I think it's going to be great. I mean, the Olympic Stadium in Munich is really quite a beautiful park. Anyway, I can imagine it's going to be loaded with German people. The fan base of this sport is huge in this neck of the woods. So, yeah, it's a pretty exciting development and a forward-thinking move by the IBU.
And we can say a very happy birthday to Asset Dustinov of Kazakhstan, 28th birthday today as we flick through the start list. And, well, some of the headlines, and I'd argue one of the bigger headlines, Johannes Dale Shevdal is back, Chad, since dropping down to the IBU Cup after the first week of racing in Kontiolahti. He's raced 6 times, 6 podiums, and 5 of them wins, and now back on the World Cup for what we believe is one of the last opportunities for selection in the Norwegian team for the World Championships.
Yeah, Shevdal not only won, he was winning by a lot on the IBU Cup. His Arbor stop in the IBU Cup, he won the sprint with 2 penalties and then obliterated the field by over a minute to win the second sprint at Arbor, and then won the pursuit comfortably with 2 penalties. He should be here. The fact of the matter is, anybody that is that much better than the rest of the IBU Cup should be here, and I just hope Johannes Shevdal can actually perform and solidify his spot, because the IBU Cup results recently suggest that he'd be in it for the win in the Biathlon World Cup.
Well, someone who you'd imagine would be on the start list and now is today, but wasn't initially, is Endre Stromsheim. The red bib, of course, taking the victory in the short individual in Kontiolahti, wasn't due to compete until the mass starts on Sunday, but due to illness, Martin Oldal has dropped out, and now it is Stromsheim who will take part in the red bib. Chad, it would have been a surprise, you'd think, if they weren't starting the red bib in the competition.
Yeah, but it sounded like they weren't going to. I mean, I think if you look objectively at everything, the fact that Stromsheim won the opening individual, and we've only had one the short individual, he's wearing the red bib as the winner of that event. But that was, over almost 2 months ago now, and it's a different field, so I get it. But he was skiing very well last weekend in Oberhof. Didn't shoot very well. He's gonna have to turn on the shooting guns again here and start hitting targets if he wants to hold the spot on this Norwegian team.
So our first 20-kilometre individual of the season to kick off 5 days of racing here in Ruhpolding.
George Colotea of Romania. He first started, 24 years of age. Just his 64th World Cup. He's got a top 16, his best finish in his career. That was back in 2024, last season in the individual in Östersund. So he loves this individual race.
Patrick Braunhofer wearing bib number 2 today. His only top 10 finish was 19th, or top 20 finish, 19th in the individual in Östersund in the 22-23 season.
Currently ranked 73rd in the overall standings this year. So you score points when you're finishing in the top 40. So if you have points, you have at least the top 40 in the season. And Braunhofer's currently ranked 73rd. Jake Brown would be the next starter for the United States, but he has come up and did not start. We wish Jake the best. We hope everything's okay health-wise.
Yeah, we'll just round out some of the other headlines, of course, from a brilliant week in Oberhof. And Dmitry Prudruchny crowned Athlete of the Week, and if you haven't already, we of course want to direct you over to social media, where it was his daughter Chad who announced to him that he was the athlete of the week, and some standout performances, and well, he'll be looking to continue his good form as they travel south to Ruhpolding.
Yeah, that was a nice piece. I think anytime you bring family into that, especially Ukraine being, in a fight, in a struggle for their independence, really nice to see that piece of Petrucci's daughter. And he's actually, I have him highlighted as a guy who could possibly win, definitely get on the podium today. His skiing is great, it's better than it's been in a couple of years. He talked about it. He talked on the IBU interview this week about how he's worked with his coach this year, and his skiing is back to a new level. And his shooting, he's always been a great shooter. So this individual in Ruhpolding is a great opportunity for Petrucci to get back on the podium today.
So the very experienced René Zarkner following out Klemetinen of Finland. It's just his first start on the World Cup circuit today. 4 top 15 finishes on the IBU Cup though this season.
Yeah, still a junior athlete. Klemetinen is 19 years of age, so he'll be probably competing at the Junior World Championships later this winter. Alexander Mukin, the World University Games biathlon champion in the sprint 2 years ago in Lake Placid, New York. Mukin, the top ranked Kazakhstan athlete in the sport. 26 years of age. Really ranked 33rd in the World Cup, so having a good season. His best season so far.
Monica Stefansson, the 24-year-old Swede, wearing bib number 7 today.
It's a 4-kilometer loop. It'll be about 12 minutes into the start order. Then we're going to start seeing after 11 to 12 minutes. If you see anybody on the shooting range, Stefansson heads out on course. Stefansson, one of the younger athletes of the Norwegian or the Swedish team, 24 years of age. Currently 63rd in the standings, but his high water mark so far for his career, 24th place.
Nicholas Karlik back up onto the World Cup after racing in Arbor on the IBU Cup last week. His best result of the season, 13th in the pursuit. 47% standing so far this season. So he'll have his focus on improving that.
Group number 9 now, Joscha Burkhalter, the first athlete who's had a top 15 in the season, this season in the start order. He was 12th in the opening short individual in Kontiolahti. His personal best is 10th, so this is a guy who's actually been in the top 10 before. He's kind of our first sort of big threat by reputation out on course.
Yeah, and that top 10 finish, the only of his career, was actually here back in the sprint in 21-22 season.
Krasimir Crnkovic of Croatia, next on the start. No points yet this year in the season, 30 years of age. 72nd World Cup start for him. His personal best is a 31st or 2 seasons ago in the sprint in Novo Mesto. Croatia, of course, the actual birthplace and home of Jako Fak, who later, early in his career, switched to the Slovenian team, largely in a way that Campbell Wright has changed for the United States. And he has the ability to change nationality due to one of his parents being Slovenian and being around the border. And same with Campbell Wright. Both parents are Americans, and he was born in New Zealand, but full American citizenship, and traded his nation's his national identity, at least for the sport, for the support that the United States can give him in this pursuit to be the best athlete in the world.
The first of our Austrian contingent, an unchanged Austrian team from that ran out in Oberhof. It's Leitner.
Leitner has had some trouble with his fitness. He had a second place back in 2021. Looked to be kind of the star of the future for Austria, and then his skiing just kind of fell off pace, and they're trying to find that form that put him on the podium 3 seasons ago.
Well, plenty of eyes on this man. Bib 13 today, Roman Rees, who will have a huge amount of support from the crowd, back on the World Cup circuit. starting on the IBU Cup this season, the first time he spent an extended spell in the second tier of biathlon racing since the 2019-2020 season. This now his 151st World Cup start, and won in the opening full-length individual competition of last season, a German 1-2 with Justus Strelo. As our first time check is at 2.1 kilometres, and Braunhofer through the fastest of only two athletes through that point at the moment. 6.7 seconds he leads George Coltea of Romania.
So Reese go out. He has not been on the World Cup yet this year, but he's certainly a guy I think that has a shot at a podium today. If you look at his history in the individual, he's got one victory in his career, and it's in this discipline. And he has been great on the IBU Cup. You know, he hasn't been winning, but he's also been dealing with the likes of Johannes Dalashevdal, who's in great shape, and Per Botten, who is a big up-and-coming star for Norway. The Norwegians go so deep that Roman Reis really one of the few athletes on the IBU Cup to give them a run for their money in the last few weeks.
Well, great to see Lukas Hofer on the start line. He's recovered from illness that saw him out of the mixed relay on the final day of action in Oberhof.
Hofer with one of four athletes in the start that I call the 400 Club, over 400 starts, and this is his 439th start today.
Carries a huge amount of experience, the 35-year-old. 12 individual podiums, but none in an individual. 21st in the short individual in Kontiolahti, just one miss on the day. -2% skiing in comparison to the average of the field so far this season.
He's skiing fairly well. He slowed down 2 seasons ago to Hofer, and now he's back kind of where he was a couple 4 or 5 years ago. There's Nicholas Hartweg now from Switzerland. I think this is a guy primed for a win in biathlon, and he's going to do it. This is probably the event he's going to do it in.
Yep, he has bounced back, missing out in Annecy Le Grand Bernard. He struggled with a shoulder injury and some illness over summer, but he looks back to good form. 7th in the sprint in Oberhof, and that was from wearing bib number 5 on that day as well.
Yeah, still, he's ranked 26th as Hartweg in the overall standing, 17th in the opening individual, but I think he's capable of more than that today. He showed good form last week in Oberhof, so I think in bib number 18, we really want to watch him and Roman Reis, bib 13, as the likely early leaders of this 20-kilometer individual.
That's what we saw Nicholas Hartweg do in the sprint in Oberhof. It was him and Produchny who were setting the early pace, and it took so long for them to be shoved down the order. Vitaly Manzin had that breakout performance, 4th in the short individual in Kontiolahti, and well, he's had good performances since. We haven't seen him though back into the flower ceremony.
Yeah, he's since that individual, which was so great, he's struggled with his standing shooting. He's only 76% standing shooting, which is actually 10% increase from last season where he was 66. But he's a 95% prone shooter. For an aggregate of 85 is Manzin, so that's where his strength is, but he's got to really shoot well standing on the 3-point range style shot. Crowd getting excited. His first shooters on the range. You see Patrick Braunhofer, he's 12.6 seconds ahead of Coltea of Romania coming in to shoot. Pretty slow cadences. Even though this is a very easy range to shoot on, the individual slow, everybody will generally slow down a little bit, make sure they're a little bit more accurate than normal, not take as many chances with that 60-second penalty for each miss.
It is a brutal additional 60 seconds per miss. We have no penalty loop in the full-length individual, just 60-second per miss. And, well, Chad, as we've mentioned, this is one of the easier ranges on the circuit. And they'll be looking to take advantage of that.
Yeah, you see the shooting of Braunhofer. So after one shooting, Coltea with a miss, Braunhofer clean. Braunhofer sets the time at shooting one at 10 minutes even, right on the dot. Well, 0.9 seconds past perfect, but 10 minutes for 2 hours. So 4-kilometer loops taking pretty quick time there as we see Yimi Clemente come in now from Finland. He's got a miss though, coming in 2.9 seconds ahead of Budenholzer. But those 2 misses, he's got to have to ski those off now and try to be perfect the rest of the way. But just getting his feet wet on the World Cup, it's got to be exciting to be in your first World Cup, bid number 4.
Yeah, and in a team that has lots of good feeling around them after the success of last week in Oberhof.
Zachman coming ski almost even with the fastest skier into the range, Patrick Bonhoeffer. But now Malte Stefansson has come in to the range very quickly. We should get his time as Zachman's clean. There is Bib 7, Stefansson.
He's
out to a faster.
Yeah, flown around the first lap, comes into shooting 1, 14 seconds ahead of Mukin.
So Zachman takes the lead by 0.5 of a second. Mukin is actually in the range right now. Not seeing him. But Mukin is from Kazakhstan, but he's still quite a ways down on Malte Stefansson's ski-wise. But Malte starts with a miss. Not like to take the lead with that minute penalty, but as we see his teammate Martin Ponsaloma heading out on course. Ponsaloma really struggling with the shooting. Saw a little bit of an uptick in Oberhof, where they actually won the mixed relay on Sunday. And Ponsaloma has a win though. He won the opening 20-kilometer individual 2 seasons ago in Contiolata. So he's done it in this event, but he's going to have to find some. He's going to have to find some magic in his standing shooting.
Yeah, 4 misses in the shoot in Oberhof, but still his best finish of the season, coming across the line in 10th.
Nicholas Karlik now, clean. That could be the new lead. Looking likely. He's got 15 seconds to get to that line, and there's no penalty loop to get past, so Karlik should take the lead from Zachman.
Johannes Kuhn. With 28 today. And again, a huge roar as expected from the home crowd as he pushes away.
Lives right here in Ruhpolding, right on the venue. So this is not right on the venue, but he trains here every day. Right? So he's a local, and he grew up here as well. I remember I had my college team skiing 15 years ago in Oslo or in Sweden in a ski tunnel. Johannes Kuhn joined us for some sessions. A very nice young man at the time, now in his 30s, but has a win in his career as we go to Kazimir Srnkovic now of Croatia. He comes in just 2.6 seconds back of the leader, Berghalter of Switzerland, who was clean.
And there's the miss now, so a additional 60 seconds added onto his time. I'm sure Johannes Kuhn, Chad probably feels like he lives here on the circuit at times.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This course has a great roller ski loop. It's been there since the 1980s, and roller skiing is basically the summer equivalent of skiing. You have roller skis, which are similar to inline skis, but a little bit longer. And basically, it's paved ski trails that you can come and do. You can do the combination of skiing and shooting, which is really important to developing your skill in this sport.
So here we go, Roman Rees, who has had a very good first. 3.3 kilometers, and now you can see the minus 8.1 as he comes into the range for the first time.
Big lead for Roman Rees now. Just needs to knock him down. Don't do anything special. And Rees has won at this discipline in the World Cup. One of 8 athletes on the start today who have won an individual World Cup competition.
And on the day that he won, it was Justus Strelo who finished just behind him in that German 1-2 in Östersund at the start of the last season. A miss for Roman Rees, though.
Yeah, but he knows he can't have a miss here. It's just, the range is in great shape. You don't see any any wind that's really going to mess with these athletes at all. It's perfect conditions for shooting, and a miss is just so heartbreakingly hard to handle. You know you're kind of out of it.
Out for Strolia.
Strolia had a great race here. A few seasons ago, his World Cup best 4th place. comes in minus 2.1. He's in the lead over Burkhalter, and I think he's going to do it again. Vitautas Australia likes this Ruhpolding course, and he may take the lead here. It's going to be very tight between himself and Burkhalter, and he'll fall outside the time by just a second and a half.
He absolutely loves racing here. 3 of his 4 career flower ceremonies have all been here in Ruhpolding, with his best finish in the sprint back in the 21-22 season, finishing 4th, just off the podium. But he has such a good record here in South Germany.
He followed up the next season with 6th place in the mass start, so his 3 best races all here in separate years. The sprint pursuit duel is understandable, but to come back and finish 6th again the next year is a sign that he loves it. He's off to a good start now. Here's Hofer. Pretty controlled cadence. Not slow, not fast. 2.7, 2.9, 2.2 between shots. Really good controlled shooting by Lucas Hofer. It's tight though. Tight at the top of the board. I don't know that Hofer's going to get there in time. It'll be close again.
Yeah, he'll be just outside the time by 0.5 of a second. Still early stages of this race, and we have 16 athletes through shooting 1. We have 105 due to start. We have 1 DNS.
Look at the time of Niklas Hartwig. 20 seconds faster than the leader Burkhalter at this point. He was skiing even with Malte Stefansson, but Malte Stefansson had numerous misses. Stefansson with 1 miss, sorry, he's 51 back. It was Lukin with multiple misses, but Hartwig, he's going to take a huge lead, and this is going to be a good time for everybody. He's done this already this year. We've already seen him do that earlier in the sprint in 2 weekends ago in France.
Well, bib 18 of Niklas Hartwig is someone that we identified very early on as someone to watch.
16.3 seconds. That's a good chunk of time to be leading at 4K. Here's bib 29 of Vitaly Manzin. Now we're starting to get into the athletes who have historically done very well this season. Both Burkhalter and Hartwig off the south side. Burkhalter just 20 seconds back at 8, so 2 Swissmen in the top 10 of what 19 people have gone through the first shooting stage. Manzin now 22.3 seconds back at the time of Hartwig. So you can see that Hartwig is flying out there, and he looked very comfortable in the shooting range. I don't think he was overextending at all.
It's Vitaly Manzin though.
Good first shot, 14 seconds. That's quick. Leading under 15 is a pretty good setup. First shot time. Nothing even remotely shaky about that shooting performance. He looked great. He had great focus, no movement, no extraneous sense of stress on Manzin, and he is still 20 out, top 5. But you know, the key here is just be within striking distance. You get 20 seconds when there are 60-second penalties. 20 seconds is nothing. You just try to keep it clean.
Thierry Longer of Belgium. 9.7 seconds down coming into the range. Quick shooting though, but crucially it's clean as well.
Yeah, anytime you're under 2 seconds in an individual, you're kind of going for it. Thierry Longer is very solid in the prone position. Longer's going to check in his second spot, 8.9 seconds back. 85% prone, 84% standing. Longer's just as good at the standing as he is at the prone.
And we're in for shooting too. There's Patrick Braunhofer of Italy.
1 miss for him. So he'll lead by about 12 seconds if all things stay the same. Here's Fabien Claude now.
Second in the sprint in Oberhof as part of that French 1-2-3. His equal best performance. He's never had an individual victory, but 2 podiums so far this season. Inconsistency though in the range has just been costing him sort of that overall consistency that he'd be aiming for though.
Yeah, almost all but 2 of Fabien Claude's best performances are in 4 shooting stages, but he's only got 1 individual podium, and that was back in 2020. So 5 seasons ago, he stood on an individual podium. Here's Martin Ponsloma now with 17 seconds. So Ponsloma clearly skiing fast. Now can he hit some targets? His hold just looks a little bit unsettled. He doesn't look solid in his prone position. He's watching the end of his barrel. There's a lot of movement there. He still gets 4 for 5, but I think something has to happen with his prone position. Might need to change that.
10 out of 10.
Good shooting for Zachna.
Really good.
Should take the lead. Nobody else clean yet, so Zachna the first clean shooter through 2 stages with half the shooting done.
Yeah, plenty of time to cross the line as well. He'll be 76.5 seconds in the lead. Patrick Braunhofer, of course, has that one miss next to his name from the standing shoot. Of course, going prone, standing in the individual competitions. And the blue bib of Campbell Wright always has a big smile for the cameras and a wave to the crowd.
Hasn't finished outside the top 30 yet this season wearing that blue bib. And had a 4th place personal best in the sprint in Kontiolahti to start out the season, and having a great season is Campbell Wright. And Johannes Kuhn now. Crowd loves it. Kuhn has really good prone shooting. Nice solid pedestal. The barrel just, the recoil on the shot just comes off his body and he doesn't react to it at all muscularly. Karlik, on the other hand, 2 penalties from the standing position. But Kuhn now going to fall outside the time of the leader, Finello.
But not by a huge amount, 6.8 seconds. He's closed the gap through that shooting stage. Burkhalter.
Well, the Swiss are featuring very well here as Burkhalter misses his first shot of the day. He goes 9 for 10. But after prone, it's Switzerland in 1 and 2. It's Finello and Hartwig separated by 1.4 seconds. Then Kuhn in 3rd for Germany.
Quentin Fielmeyer starting his race, bib 48, the Olympic champion and winner of the sprint in Oberhof after well over 2.5 years of being absent from the top step of the podium. He has 2 wins here in a total of 6 podiums, but none in the individual event here in Ruhpolding.
Bionats now of Italy. Bib 40. 41. Excuse me, 49. 40. There he is. 49. Currently ranked 38th in the overall World Cup standings. Now the big names.
Yeah, Talia Bo, bib number 50 today. And well, it seems his season is well and truly back on track. Mass start winner in Annecy-le-Grand-Bernard and 2nd in the pursuit in Oberhof last week as we watched the shooting of Justus Strelo. His form in the range, he's back on. We talk about athletes who are back on track, and in terms of shooting, someone who we've expected shooting greatness from over the course of the last 2 seasons, well, he is, you feel he's well and truly back.
Absolutely. I think the biggest question for Justus Strelo is where is his ski fitness? He's leading now at the first shooting. The fact that he's out skiing Finello and Hartwig at this point, that's a sign that Justus Strelo is on a new fitness pathway. And you were kind of down on me for picking the Germans before the show, but I really think the Germans are going to step it up today. And you've got Kuhn now in 4th and Strelo in 1st and Finello and Hartwig between them. That's a good sign for the German team.
And bib number 13 is Roman Rees. We'll keep an eye on where he comes out of shooting 2.
Rees came in 58 back, now he's 40 back, so making some time back with 1 miss on the day.
Yeah, he's in 4th. This is back to shooting 1 in the main picture. And Rastiguyevs, who came in 4.8 seconds in the lead, and crosses the line in the lead as well, ahead of Justus Strelo.
Here is Strolia now. He's clean through 2. challenging the time of Rene Zakna, and he's going to be well inside that time after standing shoot. So they're going back and forth between the first prone and the first standing. But now back to the further down the course, Vytautas Strolia, 17 seconds in the lead. Probably not going to hold on to that lead for a long time, but a great performance nonetheless in the early going.
Bib number 36, Danilo Liedmuller.
He's skiing well, he knows his course well. All the Germans, whether they're from Oberhof or Ruhpolding, Danilo Liedmuller starts to miss. He's just going to
Two misses. Adjust the sight.
I'd have to beg to differ just to say it might be actually a position play. Yeah, I think he's just taking shots right now. He's set up his position play.
It's just not what you want in front of a home crowd. He has performed so much better in the mass start events so far this season.
Jumping 4 kilometers ahead though after standing shoot, and I love Lucas Hofer. You can tell when Lucas Hofer's having a good one because he comes flying out of the shooting range. Even in his 30s, he's got the youthful exuberance of a 16-year-old. Yeah,
and 5/10 of a second off the lead, coming out of shooting too. It is still Strolia who is in the lead, but there's nothing at all separating those two as the red bib of Endre Stromsheim gets underway. So close to not being included in this race, the red bib wearing that because of the victory in the short individual in Kontiolahti. It was Martin Uldal who was supposed to be in his space, but he has dropped to the bench because of illness.
Here now is Egan Oz to update you on what happened after shooting 2. Nicholas Hartweg leading Strolia now by 31 seconds after 2 shooting stages. If he can just keep it going, he's got a good one going, but he's being challenged by the Germans so far. And we still have yet to see the best Norwegians hit the course. Egan Oz, check in the top 10. Solid start for him.
39, this is Emilien Claude.
Coming off a great performance by the French men in the pursuit or in the sprint last week in Oberhof. Swept the podium, Emilien Jacquelin in the top 10 as well on that day. Currently sitting in 5th.
Well, he had his PB finish that day, Emilien Claude, 8th in the sprint, and only once so far this season has he failed to collect points from a race. Here's Vitaly Manzin. A miss on the first.
He's not skiing very well today. You can see that the ski time is down. He's 38 seconds back coming in, plus that miss is going to be a minute 30 and minute 40 out. And with only 20 people through, he's going to come through in about 7th or 8th. Looks like 8th for him. Or even further back. A lot of people around. Slot in front of Simkovic of Croatia in the 9th spot for now. And that's not skiing fast enough to really ski off that penalty. So another opportunity for Campbell Wright to put more time on Manzin for that blue bib.
Quick start though from Fabien Claude, who's in for his first shoot.
It's very composed. Nice shooting by Claude.
Keep your eyes on the time as well. This will likely see him carry the lead out of shooting 1. 1.6 seconds his advantage. Yeah, it's not a huge amount ahead of Rastaguyevs. Back to shooting 2 and 5 out of 5 and 10 out of 10 from this first half of the race for Thierry Longer of Belgium.
You know, it's not going to be a leader, but for Terry Longer, you know, he's got 1 top 10 in his career. If he can stay clean through the end of this race, he could be top 10 still, but clearly not on the ski time. Skiing just a bit better than Zakna, not quite as good as Hartweg at this point. Hartweg is absolutely destroying the field so far, 31 seconds ahead. Now Poncelon coming in 27 seconds back with a penalty. So you can see Poncelon with a minute penalty, he's only 30 seconds back.
Yeah, he's so quick on the skis, isn't he? And it's just about getting the balance right. Another miss.
It's getting better though. It's 8 for 10. At this point, you got to take what you can get. If you're the coach of Martin Poncelomo, say, see, you're coming back. I mean, Martin Poncelomo, his one victory, he had a miss when he won the individual 2 years ago. But 2 misses, probably a little much to ski off now. With the shooting he's experienced so far this season.
And of course, 2 more visits to the range to come. And Johannes Tingersbo, some final deep breaths as he looks to get his competition underway. The world champion, discipline winner, 3 times he's won that discipline globe in the individual competition.
Here's Campbell Wright. 8 seconds out, but shooting very well. Just so composed. Oh, but he jumped on that last shot. An uncharacteristic miss in the prone position for Campbell Wright. Finello comes in with a miss to start.
2 misses now for Jeremy Finello. And 3 misses, that is so costly. 3 minutes added to his race total.
Finello remaining low statistics on his standing shooting. Now bib 28 comes in, Johannes Kuhn. Kuhn coming into shooting number 2, just 5.5 seconds back, but he also struggles from the standing position. He's a 90+% prone shooter for year after year, but he's a 60% standing shooter on average over the course of a long career, and there is he's matching the standard. And Quinton O'May starts with a miss. So Nicholas Hartwig from bib 18 might have enough of a lead here if the misses keep coming from the big stars. Tarja Bruno. How's he skiing? Pretty solid. 5.4 seconds back, 6 seconds back coming into the shooting. And that is based off the time of Fabian Klo, the leader after prone number 1.
Eric Perot, bib 68, and arguably someone we'll be keeping an eye out for as one of the last challengers in this race.
Nice shooting. When you see the rifle just recoil up and down from a very stable platform, that shows you that there's not a lot of muscle tension directing the rifle, and that tells you that somebody's in a good spot shooting prone. Just 4.6 seconds back now. That is right where he wants to be.
Climbing 3 places owing to good shooting. And clean in the prone position. Here's just Estrello. Now silent for roaring every shot.
Love the focus. Just look completely in the groove. This is the Justus Strelo that can do something. He's going to fall outside the time of the leaders, but his strength is his mental acuity on the shooting range. If he can turn his mind off and do more of what he just did in the first 2 shooting stages, he's in this competition.
And across the line in second, 5.3 seconds down of the time. Very good time set by Nicholas Hartwig. It's Johannes Dale Shevdal in for his first shoot, and 1.4 seconds he leads coming into shooting 1. There's the miss though, and 2 misses.
And you know, if you're the coaching staff and you see this time and again, somebody coming from the IBU Cup and just obliterating the IBU Cup and coming to the World Cup and missing 2 in the first stage of a prone stage, it doesn't give you a lot of confidence putting that person on the World Championship team for a medal or a relay. And that's just, it's hard to, I hate to say it, but it's just a bad start for Dale Shevdal. I feel for him.
Well, the competition for places in the Norwegian team is so well documented this year. Strollier.
The shooting acuity on this task, this discipline, individual. There's a world championship to be had, and you want to take every Norwegian who has a chance to win that individual. Strollier, perfect so far. In a good groove again.
in an excellent groove again. 15 out of 15. And just one more shooting stage to go for Vytautas Strolia.
He's in a battle with Nicholas Hartweg, who started 2 minutes behind him in bib 18. He's bib 14. So on the course, 2 minutes back, elapsed time. He's got 47 seconds on Joscha Burkhalter, so he's not skiing particularly fast as Strolia, but his key is that he's on a good way mentally in the shooting range.
Kritschmer. His way out of shooting two. Stromsheim with a first miss in the prone position, the red bib. Gathers himself well though, and is away. He come in those 6.9 seconds down, and then an additional 60 seconds added to his race time.
Yeah, not a lot of magic in this performance so far. 9.7 seconds back, even if he's clean. So, but Stromsheim going to have to hope for misses from further down the field. Now Lucas Hofer, who's clean through two. On to his third shooting stage now. Waiting for the graphic. Not seeing the graphic. Let's see if we can see what's going on.
And it's 15 out of 15 for Lucas Hofer as well. It's already outside of the lead of Strolia. Coming in 11.4 seconds down and matching him in the range. He's now 18.2 seconds behind the Lithuanian. Here's Nicholas Hartweg, who with one miss finds himself 20.2 seconds down. He was flying before that miss in his second prone shoot.
So Hofer and Strolia now, the high water mark on the shooting range. Hofer with a miss, Burkhalter with a miss. And that opens the door for guys like Emilian Claude, who's clean through two. But that was Strolia's clean through three, so 15 for 15. He and Hofer are the only two clean shooters so far with 16 athletes through.
Yeah, not a bad start at all for Emilian Claude.
This is very good.
Over the line. Let's take a look. 10 seconds down in third. Not a bad place to be at all. He set his new personal best in Oberhof, finishing 8th. That was after some adjustments as well to his rifle.
Back to shooting one now. Some of the later starters, some of the favorites. Surum, 3 for 3. And his strength is the prone. His standing is his Achilles heel. He's perfect prone though. Off the time of Samuelsson, our new leader, we haven't seen that, but Samuelsson leading by 4 seconds now after prone 1.
Yeah, never a surprise to see Sebastian Samuelsson shoot up to the top of the table. Such a quick skier. And he flew around the first lap and clean in his first shoot. And that's one miss from Fabien Claude, his first standing shoot.
Shooting two, it's still Hartweg, but he has a miss in the third stage. Here's Tero Seppälä. He's clean from the prone. He starts with a miss. Had that wonderful podium finish or victory in the single mixed relay on Sunday in Oberhof, but he's not going to match that magic that he was able to conjure up a few days ago.
Well, here's Stella Humlegård, who got his first victory of the season in that Norwegian 1-2-3.
This is a good venue for Lagerheide. It's mostly about pressure of the 20-kilometer situation. He has proven time and again that he's so good at it. He's had 4 victories to his career in this discipline. It's only half of Johannes Tingnes Bø, but he also raced far fewer than half the number of starts that Johannes Tingnes Bø has.
And here is the yellow bib himself, Johannes Tingnes Bø, coming in 2.6 seconds in the lead. And this is his first of 4 shoots.
He chases Lagerheide from a minute back in the start order.
It starts with a miss.
Not leading by enough to absorb that miss, and that's not a good start for Johannes Tingnes Bø either. Now he's got it. He thinks he maybe can get on the podium. He can maybe win with 19. But you know, if his ski performance increases very quickly here in the next couple laps, then that'll change. But we've seen that he knows he didn't get his training in over the Christmas break. He was ill most of the Christmas break, with his family, and he actually said that he's just mostly laid around, and that's not a great thing to come into period 2, not having done your aerobic rebuilding training. So his base is that question.
Yeah, change at the top of the standings in shooting 3. It's Hornig of Czechia, who now leads by 18.1 seconds over Strolia. Is Campbell Wright shooting 2, and that's better from the American.
Yeah, he knows he's got nothing to lose now. He's just got to go out there and act like it's training and try to climb his way up the standings. This Campbell Wright. This is challenging for 13th spot now after 2 shooting stages with that 1 single miss. Oh, number 65 almost takes him out. That's Ruhpolding.
Yeah. We saw plenty of clashes of skis, clashes of poles, athletes on the floor during last week's racing in Oberhof. And so of course hoping for less of that over the next 5 days as Eric Rowe comes into the range.
One of the great things about the sport, and what's so tough about filming it, is like who you follow. You've got Hornig now leading at the 3rd shooting stage. We haven't seen him yet in our pictures. He's leading by a commanding amount, 18 seconds ahead of Stoya. And Martin Ponsaloma at 31 back with 2 penalties is absolutely eating up this course on the skis.
We've just seen Quentin Fiormaillet come out of shooting 2. He's now in 10th. 1 miss. There's Eric Perrault in for his first prone shoot. 5.1 behind. There he goes, 5 for 5.
Not going to take the lead, but he's going to be among the leaders. Again, you just want to be in that 5 to 10 second range of the leaders to know after shooting 1 that you're in the race. Here's Burkhalter now on his final shooting stage, shooting 4. One of the first athletes to that shooting spot. Comes in with a 57-second lead. And 1 miss so far in the day. He goes 19 for 20. It's a solid performance. Karyabu is 10 for 10 from the 2nd shooting stage as well. Watch both those times. Versus Burkhalter, he leads by 2 minutes and 3 seconds over Zachna with a single penalty on the day. Then it's Boo coming to the line for shooting 2.
And he will be well within the time of Nicholas Hartweg. So Talia Boo, our new leader after shooting 2. And 5.2 seconds his advantage over the Swiss athlete. And well, for the first time we get to see Sebastian Samuelsson, and well, it's an unfortunate miss as we join him in the range.
It seems to be the case when we see a promising split from Sebastian Samuelsson, the picture comes on and immediately a miss. And we see that again in this case. So Sebastian Samuelsson threatening to thrill the Swedes, but a miss there, drops it further back. Now Strelo on a good ride here as well, leading by 15 seconds, coming into shooting number 3, leading Hartweg at this point.
Oh, it's a great shooting day for Justus Strelo. Just 1 more visit to the range to go, but he is 15 for 15 so far.
Well, but most importantly for Strelo, watch his kicks now. Look how he's kind of dancing on his skis. He's got a high body position. His energy is great. His body image, his body language to me is telling me that this guy is on a great ski performance. Look at the pushes. He's very sharp and he feels like he's flying. It's a great performance by Strelo, primarily on the skis, but he's clean as well, which puts him in the lead by 26.8 seconds after 3 shooting stages.
It's a confident lead as well.
Yes, confidence. When you're having a great day skiing like that, the confidence swells on the shooting ranges as well.
And he's had to build into it. It's not something that he started this season with, as you can tell from his results, but he's really grown into this season. And well, just how good will the performance be today?
Emil Nyquist now, 27 years of age. Hasn't scored any points yet in the season. But getting an opportunity for the Swedish team to get a start here in Ruhpolding. He's going to miss on the day. He'll be about a minute 40 back after 1 shooting stage. 105 starters on the start in Ruhpolding. But right now at the 3rd shooting stage, clean shooting, Justus Strelo. And here's Strolia now. He's been clean, 15 for 15. Can he get all 20 shots? Taking his time, and there's the first.
15 out of 20.
And that is just too much thinking about it. You can see he had a really good rhythm on all the other 3 shooting stages, but it's so hard to not think about your results when you want a good result. It's the hardest thing to do, and that's why the sport is so difficult to master.
Kritschmar, yeah. This is shooting 3 now. Yeah, final of the 2 prone shoots. Good recovery from Stromsheim. There's Kritschmar, 15 out of 15. He leaves the range. It won't be a podium position as he leaves for his penultimate lap. He's down in 5th, 54 seconds behind the time of the leader. Stromsheim, we're owing to that first miss, 1 minute 23 down.
If you look at the skiing of Kritschmar and Strela, if you compare what we're talking about, like body language, they're usually similar. They're similarly ranked skiers right now, but Strela's having a good day and Kritschmar's having an average day, and the difference is about a minute on the skis at this point. Hofer, 2 misses on the final stage. That's going to be another coulda, shoulda, woulda for Lucas Hofer today, as he goes 18 for 18 and then misses 19 and 20.
Emilien Claude. Clean through the first 2 shooting stages.
This individual competition at last shooting stage so hard. So you hit 15 for 15. Doesn't guarantee you anything. Got to hit those last 5.
Bjorn Solomon for his first standing. Really nice shooting from Emilien Claude.
That's 15 for him. Still outside the time of Strelo, though. Fall about 16 seconds back. And Söderholm clean standing. Yeah. And you can see he got a little bit of a jolt of energy there as Claude comes through in second after 3 shootings. That's great for him. Never been on the podium as Emilien Claude been.
Never even been in a flower ceremony. His highest finish was 8th in Oberhof. As we now watch bib 60 for Bjorn Solomon. And he's over the line in second after shooting 2. Just 0.4 of a second behind his compatriot Talia Bo.
So Söderholm showing up today through 2 shooting stages. If he can, but he is a shaky standing shooter. He's got 1 more prone bout and then another standing.
Well, I've just seen his brother go through, but here's Fabien Claude. Stella Hummerglide comes in for his standing shoot.
Hummerglide into the range. Just 2/10 of a second faster than his teammate, but he has a miss.
He has a miss. Fabien Claude has 1 miss to his name on the day. It's 14 out of 15 and a clean second prone shoot. So just 1 more visit to the range for Fabien Claude.
Still in the top 10 with that 1 miss, 56 seconds back. It's solid. But Lagride now comes through the standing, and he'll be further back because he has a miss. Here's Ponsaloma now.
You can just see the work that Martin Ponsaloma is doing on the skis. He's been forced into doing it. He's had his hand forced by his shooting, and that's 2 misses. So despite coming in 35.4 seconds in the lead, well, that's last visit to the range incredibly costly. Johannes Tingersbo in for his second shooting stage and first in the standing position. A miss again for Johannes Tingersbo and another miss.
This is not going to be a memorable day for Johannes Tingersbo on the positive side. In fact, it's pretty abysmal performance for him. He's way down the order. Bib 64, he's going to clock in somewhere outside the top 50.
Yeah, it will be damage limitations now at the very best for Johannes Tingersbo, the yellow bib. 2 minutes 48.5 down outside of the top 50. Well, it's so rare that we see that from someone who's been so dominant in the sport, and of course wearing the yellow bib, and that does open the door for Sturla Humlegreid to eat into that points total today as well.
Lagride with an uncharacteristic miss though from shooting stage number 2 as well. Here's Vyacheslav Hornig. Can he get on the podium and maybe win for the first time? He's 18 for 18, 19 for 19. Can he get the last shot? And he does it! Hornig's clean.
exceptional shooting for Vítězslav Horník. Pulls his glasses down so quickly. He is one lap away from an incredible performance here. Let's just see how far he is in the lead. 22.3 seconds, outstanding from the Czech athlete.
And now if you're a Czech coach, you're telling all your coaches, get out there and get them around that loop as fast as you can. It's still 4 kilometers of skiing left. That's a long way to go. But we know, you see the one on Kuntum, all the big names.
So many of the big names missed. So many of them.
Huge, it's such a great opportunity for Horník.
And there's substantial misses in there as well. There's not just 1s and 2s, and there will be a 2 next to Quentin Fillon-Maillet's name at least. As this is shooting 3 for him. Now the door has been flung open for the underdogs once again. We saw it in the women's races. He gets his pole stuck on the top of his barrel as well.
A little bit of calamity there, leaving the range for Quentin Fillon-Maillet. Here's Kuhn. He's missed 2 from the second stage. Still trying to just do damage control.
18 out of 20 though. And 3 clean stages. Not bad for Johannes Kuhn. As Burkhalter crosses the line, and he's our 7th athlete over the line. He goes into the lead, 2 minutes 24 ahead of René Zuckner.
Nice last lap by Burkhalter. But he's got a lot of athletes now to watch, pick at his time. He's 19 for 20. Best guy in the clubhouse on the shooting range. Now, here is a man with another chance at a victory when we wouldn't have expected it.
Yeah, absolutely. Talier Bourg in fine form.
Can't really afford to miss that.
No.
He's taking his time. So experienced. Good focus. Very, very deliberate, very cautious shooting.
Oh, that's nice from Talier Bourg, who is well and truly back in form and continuing this great vein of confidence. He'll come out of shooting 3 well in the lead. 7.3 seconds is his advantage with 1 more shooting stage to go.
You know, that split time tells you just how well used to Strelo is skiing today.
Absolutely.
But Strelo has to be clean. It's the only way for him to get everybody left. Has to be clean from this point on out if they want to win this race. Sebastian Samuelsson still could get in there, but he's outside the time. He's got to go perfectly and pick up his ski speed just a little bit. First task is to stay clean.
Which he does. 14 out of 15 so far for Sebastian Samuelsson. 1 more visit to the range for him. And 40.3 seconds down. He's not out of it yet. And here is just a Strelo. Pressure on his shoulders on home snow. And there's a miss. It's 19 out of 20 for Justus Strelo.
He needed the 20 to win. He may find himself on the podium, but he needed the 20 to win. Such a fine line between 19 and 20.
Going to the gap between or beneath Burkhalter.
And now Rostoguyevs goes 19 for 20, and he's going to take the lead from Horník. Missing the second stage.
But a good day on the skis, Chad, you have to say, for Andres Rostoguyevs. 14.2 seconds he leads.
Rostoguyevs kind of pops out of the group of athletes, all missing in the last couple stages. Rostoguyevs goes 19 for 20 on the day. Looking for his first ever World Cup victory at 36 years of age.
Well, Vitalta Strolier had such a great start to this race, didn't he? Clean through the first 3 shooting stages. He'll go over the line in second for now. 1 minute 36.5 down, and well, he'll be mulling those 2 drop shots in the final standing shooting stage.
We've got a tight battle on the last loop for between Strelo and Hartwig. They're just 2.5 seconds apart, leading the shooting range. Hornig sitting in second, clean. Then Rastaguyev with a miss, leading. Here's Nicholas Hartwig now coming to the finish.
Yep, Nicholas Hartwig, 19 out of 20. It will be the lead, but for how long? Nicholas Hartwig over the line, 39.9 seconds. His lead with 15 athletes over the line. And that one miss, well, we've already seen, could be so costly indeed.
Hartwig is going to be watching the time of Strelo and Hornig on this last loop, and as well as Rastaguyev. He was 36 seconds down to Rastaguyev's leaving the shooting range. But you got to remember, Ellen, 4 kilometers of skiing to the finish. There's a lot of skiing left.
Kritschmer.
Not going to take the lead at this point. Just looking for that clean 0 next to his name on the shooting range. And he drops his last shot. Tomorrow fall outside, a minute back. Still stay in the top 10 at this point, but he's still just being 35. And his ski performance is not going to make that 19 for 20 really shine today.
No, over the time check going out of shooting 4 in 8.
So now we have to go back and look at who is still in this to win it. Hartwig leads at the finish line. Bjørn Sørum has 2 shooting stages left. He's trailing it by 5 seconds at the halfway point.
And this the final shooting stage for Emilien Claude, who comes in with a cushion of 7.2 seconds. He needs to be perfect here.
It's a day for the underdog. Can Emilien Jacquelin take that title? Great focus.
And Emilien Claude does it. 20 out of 20. It's an exceptional day in the range for Emilien Claude. And surely, well, this should be enough for a personal best, a big personal best, Chad. And, well, will this be his first career podium?
In the breakout, Sørum went his clean through 15 as well. But Emilien Claude leads by 5.8 seconds over Andres Rastaguyevs of Latvia. And Rastaguyev's moving quicker on the ski, so he's going to have to go into the pain cave now. Is Emilien Jacquelin for 4 kilometers.
Is Martin Ponsaloma over the line in third. 4 misses on the day, but his ski speed once again really strong. And he needed something from that final visit. Dropping to just not what he needed at all, putting him out of the competition. Sturla Holmlo glide 1 minute 0.4 down, 60.4 seconds, but he's clean in shooting 3.
Okay, the question now is, can Lagride and Sørum bring home the bacon for Norway, as well as Tarjei Bø? They all have to be perfect from here on out because they're not skiing fast enough to absorb the misses. Lagride 54.6 seconds down with 2 laps and a shooting stage left.
So Emilien Claude, who we've seen go through shooting 4 in the lead, was at the last time check with Tarjei Bø. Tarjei Bø was 35.9 seconds ahead of the Frenchman. And, here is Johannes Tingersbø. A bad day in the office for the younger of the Bø brothers, and that bad day continues.
Going to be a relative non-factor with 4 misses. There's 5 misses, just the worst. And you can see him, he almost can't figure out what's going on. And it's just one of those days. Johannes, we all have them. You have very few of them. So, but still, it's doesn't make him feel good having that many misses. Here's now Vítězslav Hornig. He falls behind.
Yep, 10.8 seconds behind the time of Nicholas Hartwig. Clean on the day though, just couldn't find the ski speed on the final lap to back it up.
Lost 16 seconds to Hartwig on that loop. There's Emilien Jacquelin now. 2 misses on the day so far in full shooting stage. Going to be just shooting for a top 20 finish at this point. We got two Americans, Germain and Campbell Wright. You saw in the top 20, just ahead of Jacqueline.
Johannes Kuhn fighting towards the line. He'll hear the wall of noise coming from the German crowd. It will be just off the podium at this stage. 2 misses. And another miss for Quentin Fillon-Maillet, so that's 3 misses, 17 out of 20.
Just not skiing fast enough to matter with that many misses. Here's Campbell right now, trying to go 19 for 20 and move back in at least to the top 6. Another miss. Outside the top 14. 18 for 20, not going to be a top 10, but again, in the top 20, just Mr. Consistency on the season.
Season last time round that was plagued with illness. He had to take some time away. Came back really strongly at the end of the season, though. And he has been consistent so far this season. That's why he's wearing the blue bib for the best under 23 performer. And he's out of shooting 4 in 17.
Waiting for Emilien Claude to come through the 18.1 kilometer time check.
Here's Talia Bull, though, looking to go 20 out of 20.
He can almost pull it off with a miss, but he's taking his time to make sure he does it where he needs to on the shooting range. Oh! He resettles on the last one.
And 2 misses from Talia Bull, who was leading the way, but 2 minutes added to his race time.
He gave that race away in the final 2 shots. And it tells you he is about as experienced as anybody in the field. And the individual start is just a different beast. You have to be in a completely clean mind. You have to have white noise in your head in that last stage, and it's so hard to not think about the win.
Well, a shake of the head there, and the door was already open for the underdogs, but it's been thrown wide open. Emilien Claude.
And this might be the way to win the individual. If Sebastian Samuelson can get these last 2 shots, and he doesn't, he almost moved as he took that last shot. He gives away the win. Certainly could have skied off that time that he missed if he had stayed clean, but he goes 18 for 20. Now Rastaguyev's comes
Yeah,
along.
just how good a day will it be for Rastaguyev? 23.7 seconds he leads. Well, he hasn't featured on the podium since the medal at the surprise medal at the World Championships last year.
He's never won.
over the line in 5th. It's a battle now between Emilien Claude, who has gone through 18.1 kilometres in the lead. And really, at the moment, the only person you can see challenging Rastaguyev's with Talia Bull dropping on the 4th is David Zobel.
Zobel's 14 for 15, but a minute 48 back, not in the skiing, but really what it comes down to is the 5.8 seconds separating Claude from Rastaguyev's has dropped to 2.8 at 18.1 kilometers, so 2 kilometers of skiing left, and Claude has already lost 3 of those seconds that he had led in the first 2 kilometers of that.
The mass start that Rastaguyev took the silver medal in at the World Championships. He was just off the podium, though, both in Novo Mesto and in Östersund as well last season in the individual competition. 4th on both those occasions.
Everybody in the top 3 looking for their first win. Hornig trying to get his first ever podium, sitting in 3rd at the finish line. But Emilien Jacquelin, the youngest of the 3 brothers, or Emilien Claude, excuse me, the youngest of the 3 Claude brothers of France. Here he is, trying to put his name at the top of the order.
Emilien Claude, it's been a hard-fought battle so far, but he is 5.5 seconds in the lead. And this would be a spectacular performance. Never finished higher than 8th. He's been smashing his personal best this season. And he is on course for his first career victory, first career podium. And well, Chad, the mental boost, the confidence that would give you doing it in an individual competition.
You got a 25-year-old trying to get his first victory, his first podium against a man who's been on the podium multiple times. Andres Rasuguyas, 36 years of age, has never won, but has been second 3 times.
Well, it's a brilliant storyline. It's a brilliant battle at the top, and it's currently this man in the driving seat, because it's Emilien Claude, who had 5.5 seconds at 19.3 kilometres. You can see the time ticking down. He's got more than enough time here, you'd imagine, Chad.
It's tight, though. There's the finish line. To the right, he's got 25 seconds to get there, and he's nearly stumbling around the corner. You see Strumsheim still shooting on the shooting range, and he goes clean in his last stage. We'll check that out. But first of all, Emilien Claude trying to take his first win. 10 seconds.
Well, he's being roared to the line by the French crowd. It will be more than enough for Emilien Claude, who goes into the lead. 4.7 seconds. He's never finished inside the top 8. His best performance coming last week in Östersund, and surely that will be enough for the win today. Emilien Claude, well, I'm sure that will take some time to sink in.
Here's Surum now.
Well, this is someone else who could spring a surprise here.
Last chance for a victory for Norway.
And he goes through as well. So it might not be a win for Emilien Claude. It will be a huge personal best regardless.
Surum pulls the 20 for 20 out of the hat. Norway didn't have anybody clean. Tarjei Bø gave it away. And now Vebjørn Surum, who has struggled with standing all season long, makes it a perfect score in Ruhpolding. He leads by 43 seconds.
And look at the time there, 43 seconds, his advantage.
This should be a victory, his first of his career for Bjørn Surum.
Sturla Holmlaglide, 50.1 seconds down, 1 miss.
Still possibly the chance for a podium here for Lagride. No, not anymore.
Well, our first full-length individual competition of the season has had all the twists and the turns that we expected of it. Sturla Holmlaglide, who hasn't finished any lower than 9th this season, is currently sat in 10th and will have to do the work on the skis. But to keep that good record going.
So leading the shooting range for the 4th time, Bjørn Surum in command. It looked like it might be a first victory for Emilien Claude, but the Norwegians spoil it again for the French.
Well, you have to feel, regardless of whether it's a victory, a podium for Emilien Claude is just such a huge step up on what he's achieved.
Yeah, it creates a new future for Emilien Claude of what he thinks he can pull off.
Now the shooting range, Casper Nierlin.
There was a poor start to life back on the World Cup for Johannes Dahle Skjevdal. He managed to keep a calm and cool head after that for the next 3 shooting stages, but dropping 2 on the first.
So even with 18 for 20, he's not skiing fast enough to actually make a dent in the podium situation. He's a minute back at 7th place, but could move up to the top 5 still with his ski prowess in the last couple kilometers.
Although he'll have to work incredibly hard with Bjørn Surum. Behind him, and that's very quick shooting and confident shooting for Johannes Tingersbo, who just puts on a show. After missing 5, he rattles through the final 5, and well, he knows his race is a long way over, and well, just wanted to put a show on for the crowd.
Almost like he might be pulling out.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way, doesn't it? As he comes to a stop. Emilien Jacquelin says, "Come with me." And well, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He says, "Well, I can't just have Emilien Jacquelin fly past me," and well, he'll at least ski on a little bit further. How much further, we don't know.
Well, I think at this point he'll probably just do his cool down. It looks like he's probably struggling on the skis. He doesn't feel like it's worth putting up the effort, especially if you consider all things we know about him. That he's had a rough illness over the holidays. It really doesn't pay to push to the finish at this point for him. But I suspect he'll finish the day and he's back out the ski.
Well, he gave the crowd what they want in terms of that final performance there. As this is Talia Beau, who was in control until that final shooting stage, and 2 misses. See him across the line, 73.1 seconds behind Emilien Claude, who leads the way for now, with Bjorn Sørlem still out on the course.
I think what we can learn from today is that it doesn't matter how decorated you are as an athlete, you still have to keep your mind off the targets and onto what you're doing on the shooting ranges. You saw Talia Beau drop the final 2 shots. You think if there's anybody who would hit those 2 shots in the end, it'd be Talia Beau, but here he is, dropped out of the contention with those 2 misses.
Yeah. And well, he'll be pushed down to the top 10 as well. Sebastian Samuelsson over the line in 5th, 2 misses, 49.9 seconds down.
So Sørlem has come to 18.1 kilometers. Oh, no, should be coming to 18.1 kilometers very soon. There's Johannes Dahle Chevdal now.
Yep. Well, dominating on the IBU Cup circuit for the races. 6 races he competed in after being dropped from the Norwegian team after Kontiolahti, and well, just not getting back in the manner that he'd want to with that first shooting stage, going clean after that for 18 out of 20.
Sebastian Samuelsson ahead of him with the same penalties tells you that the sweet skiing better. Actually, Martin Ponsalon with the fastest course time right now, 39 seconds faster than Sebastian Samuelsson. So even with those 4 misses, Ponsalon in the top 20 for the fastest ski time.
Yeah, so here's what we've been waiting for, and that's for Bjorn Sørlem at 18.1 kilometres. And it's a massive lead for Bjorn Sørlem.
He's got this in control.
Yeah, completely. Both Sørlem and Claude 20 for 20, but it's almost a penalty length that Bjorn Sørlem leads by 58 seconds. And well, he won't yet, but he can start to think about celebrating his maiden victory.
Yeah, he put 15 seconds on, just to give perspective.
Crazy.
15 seconds he put on him from the shooting range to that time check. So he's going to probably put another 15 or 20 on. It should be a victory by over a minute if he keeps pushing.
He's been so consistent in terms of flower ceremonies so far this season. Yet to step on the podium in individual competition, though. His best was 4th in the pursuit in Annecy. 3 flower ceremonies this season, and now a first victory on the World Cup circuit. And the most improved athlete as well, Chad, through the first trimester, and you can see how hard he's working here. But you have to say, it was just a matter of time, wasn't it, for Bjorn Sørlem?
Yes and no. I mean, I think the thing is, like, he really made hay on a day he needed to make hay, because really, if you look at who has this individual event locked up, probably you're going to put Sturla Holm Lagride in the World Championship in this event for sure, and then you're going to probably put Johannes in this bill, and then it's kind of open. Is it Talia Beau? Is it Bjorn Sørlem? I think Strømsheim with a win already this season. He's on the short list, but today is closer to the World Championships. You know what happened in Kontiolahti doesn't matter in a month's time. Bjorn Sørlem probably just got a start at the World Championships in the individual.
Philip Navrat over the line in 50. 3 misses on the day for the German.
Germans threatened early. Strelo had a shot. In the end, wouldn't have won it with a clean shooting anyway. He was minute 11 out, so still would have been overshadowed by Claude and Surum in the end. But here's Surum now, the only man left on the course with a chance at the top 10. And he's going to take the victory in Ruhpolding if he can stay on his feet for another kilometer and a half. Well, not even half a kilometer.
No, it's, yeah, he's through the 19.3 kilometre mark. The advantage has been dropped slightly. He's come off the pace as Stromsheim, the red bib, over the line in 13th. One miss for the Norwegian, 1 minute 42 down. And, well, here is the Norwegian of the moment, Bjørn Sørlund. Perfect shooting on the day and exceptional skiing. A commanding lead and a dominant performance for his first career victory on the IBU World Cup circuit, 52.1 seconds. A standout performance from the most improved athletes on the circuit through the first trimester. His first podium of the season in individual competition and his first ever victory.
Got to feel good for Bjørn Sørlund. It's a feel-good story.
Top 10 finish for David Kormats.
Sørlund's 26 years of age. It's his 31st World Cup start that ends up being the one that gets him the win.
And that's how much it means. And what you have to say as well, not to be in terms of the victory for Emilie and Claude today, but a first career podium, clean on the day. But well, that time difference with identical shooting records just shows just how good it was a skiing day for Bjørn Sørlund and the kind of shape and fitness he's in ahead of the World Championships. It was well, 2 misses for Sturla Holmlund, who's over the line in 14th. That's his worst individual finish of the season, and able to back up that first victory of the season in Oberhof last week. And while Johannes Tingersbo is still going, he has not decided to try and pick up the pace and get back on the shoulder of Emilie Jacquelin. He offered him a toe.
Going to finish the day though. Finish the race, get across the line, but he's going to be well back. He's just kind of cashing it in now. But this individual, long 20-kilometer individual, is a very unique beast. It's the most endurance sport event of the repertoire. 20 kilometers, you're out there roughly an hour, a little less than an hour. So you start losing the glycogen sort of late in the race, and you know you're shooting at 16 kilometers. You're shooting standing position. That's a kilometer longer than any other race in the repertoire. So you go a kilometer further, and it's from a standing position, and it's a tough task. And these athletes don't do it very much anymore. Back in my day, we did 20K every weekend. They do it three times a year now, and it's a unique skill set that is not tested very often. So you have to come in and do something just a little bit special from what you do week in and week out, and it's in a different way. It's a little more internal, a little bit more by yourself and in your own mind. The sport has changed with these mass starts and pursuit starts, kind of being the gravy of the sport. You have to be very good in head-to-head competition, but this is a completely opposite sort of task on the shooting range, and Bjørn Sørlund proved he was the best at it today.
Yeah, we've had to wait a little bit later as well for this first full-length individual. Second World Cup stop of 2025. This is Eric Perrault, who we've just seen, and now it's Emilie Jacquelin. 2 misses from the first 2 shooting stages of his race. He's across the line at 17. No hanging around for Emilie Jacquelin. He's straight to get his rifle off his back as his compatriot Eric Perrault, who started 2 bibs behind him, also with 2 misses on the day from the first Standing shoot. Be just outside the top 10. Will it be for Eric Perrault? Yep, 11. 2 minutes and 3 seconds behind for Bjorn Sturlum. Sebastian Stolder clean on the day, 20 out of 20, but still trailing by well over 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And Johannes Dingersberg over the line. Thanks to the crowd for their support. 5 misses on the day, only 1 clean shooting stage, and that was the final stage where he knew everything was over and just rattled off those final 5 shots, all to hits, as the crowd behind him loved it. Continued or decided to continue the race after it looked like he might be giving up. As Otto Invenius, what a day for the Finn. 20 out of 20. He's in the top 10, Chad, currently sitting in the final place for the flower ceremony. And, well, we haven't seen the best of him yet this season. And, well, today seems like it might be the day.
His personal best was in a mass start last season in Antolz. He was 10th. I think this could be better. Right now, Otto Invenius fighting for the eighth spot with Johannes Dalishevdal at the 19.3 kilometer mark, which is his next time check. So this is really the only story out on the course. The Finns have, of course, coming off a great victory in the single mixed relay last weekend in Oberhof. Now having Otto Invenius threatening for a top 10 in this individual.
Yeah, he's someone that, well, not just in Finland, outside of Finland as well, plenty of people have eyes on to be one of the next big talents. Just hasn't had that impact that he would have wanted so far this season, but this would be a huge finish for him. He needs to keep the pace up around this final lap. Abizorbo, 2 misses for the German. He's just outside the top 40.
There's Invenius in the background there, coming up out of a tuck into this final climb. Trying to slot into the 7th spot ahead of Samuelsson's time, 1:44 back. I don't think he's going to get that one.
Yeah, well, he needed a really big final lap to finish on the in the flower ceremonies. Sebastian Samuelsson as well, who holds that 6th place. It was always going to be particularly hard to take down, but you can see he's going to give it absolutely everything to try and get there.
He's only got 2.9 seconds to get to the flower ceremony between here and the finish. It's a lot. He's trying to take it out of Sebastian Samuelsson, one of the fastest skiers in the court in the field. But still a great performance, sitting in 7th now is Invenius.
Well, there's at 19.3 kilometres, there's 1/10 of a second between Sebastian Samuelsson and Otto Invenius. This is Sebastian Stolder. Good shooting, perfect shooting on the day for Sebastian Stolder. It's just that ski speed that will see him out of the top 20. Crowd loud in support of Davos. First, 2 misses. The German drops to the floor. Well, here is Otto Invenius. Well, keep your eyes on the time. This will be exceptionally close. There was just 1/10 of a second in it between Sebastian Samuelsson and Otto Invenius at the 19.3 kilometre mark, and he's just off the flower ceremony. It's a huge performance regardless. So close. In the end, it was 1.2 seconds. He just couldn't match the pace right at the end, but perfect shooting for Otto Invenius.
We won't have any flowers to send home to Finland, but he's still a personal best. You can see the coach who has done so much for that program.
Yeah, Erik Tornes Kolstad has really pushed the standards in terms of, particularly in the shooting range. The Norwegian, the Norwegian coach in charge of the Finnish team, And a really, really good performance for Otto Invinius. A personal best by 3 places. His second time finishing in the top 10.
Finn's on a roll right now.
They are indeed.
Great things happening there. Yeah, great to see.
On the skis as well. It's not, we speak a lot about the work that they're doing in the range, trying to replicate race conditions in training more often. But the hard yards they're putting in terms of their ski fitness as well, evident with the results we've seen from the Finnish team over the course of the last couple of days.
There's Jan Bunke now, 22-year-old from Poland. He's got 2 medals from the Junior World Championships last season. I think this is a guy we're going to see pop one pretty soon. He goes right ahead of Campbell Wright. He's 29th place.
Campbell Wright being forced to 30th now.
74 just came across that as well.
Yep.
I've got to say the Finnish coach, I think Erik Tornius Kulstad in the second year at the helm of the Finnish team has to be at least in the running for Coach of the Year. I think for the Biathlon World Cup right now. Both the women and the men doing great, breaking new ground. They get a victory last week, but Norway, no surprise at the country at the top of the leaderboard. A little bit of a surprise at the name.
Yeah, Björn Solem, dominant performance, 20 out of 20 in the range, and well, it was a perfect scorecard as well for Emilia and Claude, but you look at the time difference, 52.1 seconds between Björn Solem, who took top spot, and Emilia and Claude in second. Just shows you the kind of shape that Björn Solem is in. And Chad, you have to say, plenty of eyes, not just from Norway, but from around the rest of the world, will have eyes on him for a medal at the World Championships, which of course is just on the horizon. And this is exactly the kind of time you want to be coming into that form.
Absolutely, he couldn't have timed it better. And I think the fact that there is a World Championship event in this actual event, it's really timely for Björn Solem. We've seen that he can ski fast, but the question is, can he shoot well? And the ultimate test of the ability to shoot well under pressure is this 20-kilometer individual, because you almost need similar ability in the relay to keep the team in the relay. So when you choose a guy who wins an individual, you kind of have an eye on him for the relay as well in the World Championships. I still think he's got some work to do on that selection, but I would be surprised with the victory in this individual competition that Björn Solem wouldn't be on the roster to go to the World Championships and at least start in this event. And that's a tough thing to do.
And rounding out the podium, Andres Rastaguyev's his first podium since that surprise mass start silver medal at the World Championships in Novi Mesto last year. A solid performer in this event, just off the podium in the individual competition in Novi Mesto at the World Championships. And very, very strong performance today. Not much between him and Emilia and Claude at all. There was just over 4 seconds between second and third, but your eyes always drawn to that huge gap that was laid down by Björn Solem. Nicholas Hartweg as well, another really strong performance. And Chad, when we talk about coming into form ahead of a World Championships, to see the Swiss flag in fourth, Nicholas Hartweg was certainly one to watch as we head to Switzerland and his home snow for the World Championships.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, that you need to be in the position and maybe fail a few times before you're going to succeed. And Nicholas Hartweg, one miss on the day. If he had cleaned, he still wouldn't have won, but he would have been on the podium in second spot. And this is a sport of coulda, shoulda, woulda. None of that for Emilia and Claude. He's 20 for 20 and gets second on the day. Rastaguyev, same thing. The single miss cost him the victory, and Nicholas Hartweg, the single miss cost him the podium today. But I think that Nicholas Hartweg has done it more than once this season. He's finished near the top of the order, starting early in the start order, and I think that's his MO. start early in the World Championships event. Could bring home, could make it a pretty special day in Switzerland for the Swiss biathlon program.
Yeah, he certainly seems to like being in that position where he's laying down the early pace. And, well, as we saw in the sprint in Oberhof, it takes a long time for him to be pushed back from that as we see our final bibs coming through shooting 4. We had 105 bibs on the day. We've also just seen, worth a note, Marcus Bolin-Webb of Great Britain through shooting 4. His 6th World Cup start. He's set his sights on competing at the Olympic Games next year. Was also qualified as well to represent Great Britain on the World Cup in Antolz next week.
Mihail Usov with a really great shooting performance, 19 for 20 for the Moldovan. Put him just outside the top 70, but good shooting for him.
Well, worth pointing out, 9 at the minute. We have 8 nations, is it, Chad, in the top 10. We have Switzerland and Norway with 2 athletes in the top 10 and a nice variety of flags.
Yeah, David Komatz from Bib 57 shoots clean and finishes in the 9th spot. We saw a little bit of him out there in Vilnius, as you said, with new personal best in 7th. Samuelson, the only Swede in the top 10 in 6th, 18 to 20. And Viteslav Hornig, Czech athlete, with a new best. He'll be in the flower ceremony in 5th. Clean on the day. Excuse me. And Nicholas Hartwig, 4th. With Rastaguyevs from Latvia in 3rd. And that's kind of one of the strengths of this sport of biathlon, is there are a lot of nations who do it and a lot of nations who do it well.
A challenging final shoot for Udam of Estonia.
Second to last starter on the day. Robert Flore of Romania, the final starter, did 1:05. So about a little over 4 kilometers from the wrap-up of this event.
Fleur of Romania had recovered well from missing 2 in his first visit to the range, and then 1 miss before he flies through 3, and then another miss right at the end.
I believe that should be close to, if not, we'll close our shooting range for the day.
Yep, our final athlete through shooting 4. On DNS, of course, that was Jake Brown, and Mukin of Kazakhstan with a disqualification. So we'll have a 103 athletes with finishing times. Number 96, Asik Dusinov, on his 28th birthday.
Not a bad place to be on your 20th birthday, out on the courses of Ruhpolding. It's 20 kilometer course, utilizing all 4 kilometers of the entire race track. the snow keeps falling. It's nice to see winter in Central Europe.
A real mixed bag of conditions as you come to expect in Oberhof last week. And we ended with a lovely day, didn't we, Chad? A final day that was graced by the sun for once.
Yeah, it's been a while since Oberhof was that sunny, but that was a nice way to wrap up what started out as a pretty rough first day with downpouring rain. But Ruhpolding, not as likely to get rain. This is kind of a little more like it. If it's going to be cloudy, it's going to be probably a little bit of snow or like you say, sleet. But this valley between Ruhpolding and Redding, beautiful classic skiing trails for ski tourists. It's about a 20-kilometer one direction ski through the valley. It's not very technical. It's very beginner friendly, and it's a great place for Ruhpolding, a kind of a spa town known for its spas, and it's kind of quiet atmosphere. Except for Ruhpolding, it becomes a bit of a party in town. And it's if you want to go see biathlon at its best, this is a great one to visit. The Antolz next weekend is well great. Oslo is a great venue. Oberhof, of course, if you bring rain gear, is an awesome venue. It's a great atmosphere at these World Cups, but Ruhpolding is definitely one of the granddaddies of the sport, if not the granddaddy. It's been featured as part of the World Cup regularly for over 30 years. And the party's already beginning if you hear the music in the background.
Well, my eyes might have deceived me there, but I believe we got a glimpse of someone wearing quite an old Bjorn Sørlum race bib there, and plenty taking selfies with the person wearing the vest. So I wonder whether that's potentially the family, a relative or friend of our winner today in the crowd.
More than likely, the athletes get a training bib for every World Cup season with their name on it if they're regular on the team, on the circuit. So it could be an old training bib for the World Cup circuit from a parent or in-law or something. Relatively small crowd by Ruhpolding standard. It is a Wednesday afternoon, so through the work week, we should see that entire periphery of our shot grow to be full of people by the end of the weekend. We have relays ahead of us as well as the mass starts on Sunday. Women's individual though tomorrow.
Yeah, we have, of course, this extended race program in terms of days, 5 days of racing here in Ruhpolding, of course, starting today. Then we have the women's individual, as Chad says, tomorrow, and then in a slight change of the order in terms of what we're used to, it's the relays that then take centre stage on the Friday and Saturday before the mass starts our only double day of racing on Sunday. Alec Mackles, bib 97, 6 misses after a perfect 5 in the prone position to kick things off. '93 of our 105 over the line.
Here's our first glimpse of Rasmus Schilderup of Denmark, 18 for 20. Nice shooting performance by him on his first World Cup start of the season.
And a first World Cup start of the season as well for Marcus Bolin-Webb, the British Army athlete.
It's Mikito Tashizaki, 16 to 20 today. Across the line in the 89th spot. Pedrucci had a pretty rough day there as well. 8 misses for Dimitri Pedrucci. I thought maybe this was a dark horse day for him, but shooting kind of falling apart for the Ukrainian athlete who had such a great week in Oberhof.
Well, we've seen not just this season, but you know, Chad, we speak about it a lot. It's so hard if you're at the top level, the very, very top level, to maintain consistency. And, you know, particularly when you come off these highs and the racing comes in such quick succession, it's a real challenge to keep that momentum going.
Absolutely. And, you know, you've got the human body in the mix. And the human body changes under stress, and a lot of it, you know, there are germs all over, everywhere. And you know, when you're tired and exhausted from racing and from the toll of traveling, it's so easy to get sick. And if you're sick at all, you can't do the sport. And that's why we see, you know, people do not start off of even just the sniffles, because it can unravel into the end of your season very quickly. So these athletes have to be very diligent about their health. About you see a lot of these athletes wearing masks just in everyday living when they go to have meals with other people from not in the team. So it's a tough. You give up a lot for this cool atmosphere, for this lifestyle.
And you can see Danilo Luitmüller pushed down to 77, 7 misses. Here's Yamamoto. Did 101 over the line in 91st.
Maxim Fomin.
Finishing strong, Maxim Fomin.
In the 78th, so you've got 2 more competitors on, or 3 more competitors on the course. This is Artur Ishakov.
19 out of 20. That's a bad shooting day at all.
Yeah, he'll move into the top. He'll move into 65th. Feels proud of that.
Yeah, this is debut individual start. He was part of the mixed relay team in Oberhof, so his second World Cup start officially, but his first in individual competition.
He's Udam of Estonia coming across the line in 83rd, and our final competitor on the course, number 100.
Martin Zarel.
Oh, we have one more. Sorry, there's Flore from Romania out as well. Number 5.
Expecting him through the 19.3 kilometre mark shortly. Martin Zarel over the line in 92nd. 18 out of 20 for bib number 100. And here is Ralph Lohr, bib 105. And the PA announcer and the crowd behind him as he crosses the line to conclude our first full-length individual race of the season, and slots in at 92. Well, Chad, the individual competition at this length always has its twists and turns, and well, it's certainly delivered in terms of drama, dark horses, the lot today.
Well, yeah, just look at our leaderboard. These are a lot of these names you see rarely up there. We've seen a lot of them in the top 10, but you know, it's usually an opportunity for somebody to do something great. And Bjørn Sturm did just that. He won by 52 seconds. But Emilian Claude, also 25 years of age, the youngest of 3 brothers in the sport at this level. He gets his first podium in second. And Andrei Zhestryguev's kind of an old man of the sport. Had 2 podium finishes to his career prior to this. Gets his 3rd today at 36 years of age. It's kind of a special story.
Stromsheim, the red bib, with 19 out of 20, finishing 18th. Emilien Jacquelin, 2 misses on the day just behind him. Campbell Wright's down in 30th. the blue bib.
We should be seeing our World Cup scores updated soon. See Maxime Germain from the United States, 35th with 2 penalties on the day.
Roman Rees down in 39th as he makes his return to the World Cup circuit, just ahead of Telo Seppälä. There's Jaakko Ranta of Finland as well, just inside the top 50. Vitaly Manzin outside of it, 55. So Campbell Wright will keep a firm grasp on that blue bib.
Looking at ski times, Martin Ponzlunas outskied the field by quite a bit, 39 seconds ahead of Sebastian Samuelsson today. Ski nod goes to the Swedes today. They go 1-2 in the ski speed, and Daniel Rietmüller was skied very, very, very fast, but missed too many shots.
Yep, you can see him there in 78th. 3 misses from his 3 misses from each of his first 2 visits to the range. 7 misses on the day. Well, there's the other huge shock of the day, and it's to see Johannes Tingersbo, the yellow bib, down in 85th, so unable to take points from today. He dropped so many in the range. It wasn't until his final visit where he just decided to put on a show for the crowd and hit all 5 that he actually went clean. And well, Chad, we spoke about it during the race. We know he's come off the back of a challenging Christmas with illness, and then of course the travel down to Ruhpolding after we saw some glimmers of him in good form, but still just unable really to do anything today at all without causing himself some problems.
Yeah, I think he just decided to ski the race in, but we haven't seen him outside the top 30 since 2018. So it's a pretty shocking day for Johannes Tingersbo, and I think that we might, depending on what he figures out happened today. We might see him take a break at some point between here and the World Championships if it doesn't improve. Either the shooting and or the skiing doesn't feel better. He didn't look like he was particularly fast on the skis in the first lap either. I think that's why he knew. Yeah, he was competitive and still faster on the loop, but with the misses that he had, he wasn't doing good biathlon. So it'll be interesting to see what his take is on it and what his decision going forward will be in the next few days. Will we see him on the start in the relay, for example? Maybe he'll rest up for the mass start.
Well, we saw that he wasn't in the mixed relay team in Oberhof, and it will be interesting just to see where and what is next for Johannes Tingersbo as we take a look back at his race. We've heard him speak recently about the desire to go back home and spend some time with the family before the World Championships. Will this accelerate that return home? He does still hold the lead in the total score. Will keep hold of the yellow bib. He had such a great advantage, but the gap has dropped considerably now. Sturla Holmlaglide on 614 points. Johannes Tingersbo still leading the way with 662, and it's Emilien Jacquelin who is off the pace in third, 490. Just 12 points behind him, though, is Eric Perrault, who's breathing down his compatriot's shoulder.
Well, that's just the issue. Do you stay and fight for the overall World Cup lead? Do you rest up for the World Championships? Do you go home and see your family? There's a whole swirling mix of things now that are going to enter into Johannes Tingersbo's consciousness of what he does next, and I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to of what is best for him and the season. He's also stalled out on the chasing of 95 World Cup wins. That's 88. He hasn't won since Annecy. Doing a recap of our top 3. Anders Rosser-Guyevs, his 3rd career podium. Finished in the World Cup competition at 36 years of age. So his 4th, excuse me. 2nd 3 times, never 3rd, never 1st. gets the finishes in today in the third spot for the first time in his career. Claude with his first ever podium, and he does that on a 20-20 shooting score, as does the Biathlon, the winner today. Manning 52.6 second victory of the club. A lot of different names atop the winners board this season. It's fun to see these new young athletes. And here's
amazing, your first World Cup win. How does it feel, and do you already believe in it?
Yeah, it feels amazing. Perfect race, and already after the final shooting on the final lap, I got emotional, so I had to get myself together and breathe and go to the finish line, because I knew that in the first timing point, I knew that I will get a win, and yeah, of course it's emotional. I've been so close this year. I've done biathlon pretty good, but it doesn't have the top results yet. Now I have it, and it feels amazing for sure.
Crossing the finish line, did you believe that it's gonna be the win, and how did you feel when Andrew welcomed you so sweetly?
Yeah, I think you saw when I crossed the finish line, I knew I was going to win, and for sure, Andre is one of my best friends. We trained together for the last 10 years, and yeah, it feels amazing. Also, my dad was on the tribune, and yeah, it feels amazing.
You will definitely remember this win. Congrats again.
Thanks, I will.
IBU World Cup Biathlon 2025 in Ruhpolding. Individual men, herzlich willkommen zur Siegerin.
So great to hear from Biathlon after his first career victory.
Einzelwettkampf. The prizes will be presented by, die Preise werden überreicht von Tore Borgard, the representative of the IBU, from Justus Pfeiffer, the mayor of Ruhpolding, and from our OC president, Hermann Hipf. Third place, dritter Platz, Andreas Rastogius, Latvia.
Latvia back on the podium. It's Andreas Rastogius who steps up. A brilliant performance today to finish in third place, 19 out of 20. First podium since that surprise silver medal at the World Championships in Novo Mesto.
Second place.
This event is a experience event normally, but it's the young men who take it today. It's Emilien Claude, 11 years younger than Andres Rastogius, gets one better than him on the podium.
Yep, Emilien Claude looks at his older brother and says, whatever you can do, I can do as well, and smashes the personal best that he set in Oberhof last week, a first career podium.
First place, erster Platz, Fabian Sörum, Norway.
And a first podium of the season and a first World Cup victory for Bjørn Sørlund. It's all been going in the right direction for the Norwegian, the most improved athlete through the first trimester. He finally has the opportunity now to stand atop the podium.
He moves into the top 5 overall in the standings, behind Eric Perrault, Emilie Jacquelin, Sturla Holm Lagrad, and Johannes Dingesbø.
There is your podium for the first of 5 days of racing here in Ruhpolding. Bjørn Sørlund taking top spot, his first career victory, a first career podium for Emilien Claude. And great form continues for Niklas Hartvig. Just off the podium today. But
Czech
really
Republic.
found his stride in starting early on in the order and laying down some very good performances that are incredibly hard to beat.
Sebastian Samuelsson, Sweden.
Vlad Honig and Sebastian Samuelsson in 5th and 6th. Another flower ceremony for Sebastian Samuelsson.
First one for Hornig, and I think we're going to see more of that 25-year-old in the future.
They're wearing 5th, 24 today. Taking 10 places off his previous best that was set in the mass start in Pontiolati.
I hope you enjoy it.
6th place, Sebastian Samuelsson. 5th place, Václav Hornig. 4th place, Niklas Hartwig. Auf der 3, Andrei Rastovius. 2. Emilian Claude und auf der 1 Vebjörn Sørum.
And Chad, a brilliant 8 nations represented in the top 10. And particularly important as well for Switzerland to have 2 names in the top 10 as we approach the World Championships that they'll be hosting in February. But once again, great diversity in terms of the flags on the podium.
Yeah, this individual competition is, we've said it all along, is a great opportunity for diversity at the top of the leaderboard, with the shooting being a premium, and we should see more of that again tomorrow on the women's side. Is the same event in the 15-kilometer fashion for the women. They'll go 15 kilometers with minute penalties as well.
Yep, you tee it up perfectly, Chad. We will be back once again tomorrow with the women's 15k individual. That starts at 10 past 2 Central European time, and there are how things stand in the individual score. Stromsheim keeping hold of the red bib, but it's Vebjörn Sørum who slots into second, 90 points for that first victory. While he didn't finish in the flower ceremony, we also have to give a nod to Otto and Vinius from Bib 73, taking 7th today. Clean shooting and good form for the Finns continue. As we take a look back at Stromsheim's race. So plenty braving the weather today, and we will be back once again tomorrow for the women's 15-kilometre individual, which gets underway at 10 past 2 Central European time, and we do hope you can join us then.